my name is Velia, and today I'm going to be going over the changes to Restoration Shaman in patch 7.3.2. Thank you so much for watching, and let's hop into it. The first thing that I want to mention in this video is that the playstyle for Shaman is going to remain relatively the same for this patch. Our T21 bonuses might cause a slight change on where you put your healing rain and who you heal off of, but for the most part, our class remains pretty much unchanged, meaning no major changes to spells or legendaries or rotations in this patch. Just wanted to get that out of the way before hopping into stats. Now with gear, your stat priorities are going to remain the same. Our stat priorities will continue to be intellect over mastery over crit over haste and then versatility. Keep in mind that for Restoration Shaman, stat priorities rely on your personal healing preferences and healing style, and the gear that you have available to you. When you take a snapshot of the top logs on every fight, you'll find an almost even split between mastery and crit builders. My specific healing style favors the mastery heavy build, but your healing style might favor a crit heavy build. To learn what works best for you, I suggest taking a look at what legendaries are available to you and then trying out different builds and seeing which ones work for you the best. With stats out of the way, let's move on to gear. First up, let's talk about our T21 set bonuses. Our 2-piece is a massive buff to our AoE healing, being when you cast Healing Rain, up to 6 allies within its area are immediately healed for 225% of your spell power. Our 4-piece is a nice follow-up to that, being Healing Wave and Healing Surge casts have a 100% chance to heal a player standing in your Healing Rain for 40% of the amount healed. Basically, what this means is, if you have the 4-piece set bonus, you're going to want to aim to put your Healing Rain in the melee and then spot heal off of the ranged if you're ready to split up. The 2-piece is a huge buff to our AoE healing, so put a priority on gaining your 2-piece bonus as quickly as possible, even if you have to take a slight item level hit. If possible, because of the amazing buff to our healing rain in our T24 piece, it would be optimal to keep your T24 piece and gain the T21 2-piece while you're building your T21 4-piece. However, for those of us that use the legs, this may not always be possible. So your goal is to build to the 4-piece as soon as possible, which means if tier pieces become available to you, consider taking a slight item level hit if that means getting your 2-piece or your 4-piece fast enough, as this raid has a lot of AoE healing mechanics that will benefit greatly from your new tier bonuses. Next up in our chat about gear, let's talk about trinkets. First and foremost, I want to direct your attention to Splashy Stats, a pretty awesome tool for Restoration Shaman that you can find in the Ancestral Guidance Discord channel. I've linked to the Google Doc below so that you can pin it to your bookmarks for personal use. The people in charge of this sheet keep it pretty much always up to date, and I use it as a go-to guide in regards to gear stats and best in slot values. So this chart is where I'm going to be basing all of my information on when talking to you guys about best in slot trinkets. I encourage you to take a look at it yourself and mess around with the document, as there are a lot of cool things to be seen on there. So that being said, let's jump into trinkets. It goes without saying that our best in slot trinket for 7.3.2 is Amonthul's Vision. Literally, if this baby drops for you early on in the tier, equip it immediately and then go out and buy a lottery ticket because you're one lucky guy or gal. But yeah, like Amonthul's is an amazingly powerful legendary that does not count towards your 2 legendary limit, so equip that thing ASAP when it drops for you. It's definitely going to be best in slot until the end of the tier. Now, for those of us who are not as lucky as others, you might be asking, what do we run in the other spots? Well, a lot of it depends on how lucky you were in Tomb of Sargeras. If you were lucky enough to grab a C-star at or above 930 item level, or a Deceiver's Grand Design at 940 item level, then continue to use these early on in the tier as they remain better than any of the base level 930 trinkets that drop in Taurus on normal. Also, if you've upgraded your Valens to be item level 1000, this is a very strong trinket as well and currently still a popular choice in regards to legendaries. Where trinkets start getting tricky is when you start winning Warforged items. Thankfully, the Splashy Sheets document has actually made a pretty simple solution to this issue. Simply open up the sheet, make a copy, and then click on the Trinkets tab. Here you see a list of all available trinkets. Match the item level of the two trinkets that you have to the values in the document. Then change the value of the trinket in question to the item level that you've received. For example, say I currently have equipped a 945 ENRs and a 930 C-Star, but a 955 Highfathers dropped. Well, when I enter in all that information, I can see that the ENRs gives me an 82,426 HPS increase, and the C-Star gives me an 82,674 HPS increase, and the Highfathers gives me an 89,359 HPS increase. This would mean that my ENRs currently gives me the lowest HPS increase overall, so I should switch out my ENRs with my new Highfathers trinket. Learning how to use this spreadsheet will not only help you be more self-sufficient, but probably will save the sanity of the people who are active in the Restoration Shaman Discord from being asked the same question like 10,000 times a day, so I encourage you to get familiar with the sheet and start using it yourself. Next up, let's move to the best in slot list. Thankfully, the gear design gods have blessed us this tier, and they've made mastery the most common secondary stat for male in this tier. Meaning, if you simply pick the item with the highest item level, you're going to naturally get enough mastery. For the most optimal build, the 4 tier pieces that you're going to want to grab are the chest, the shoulder, the head, and the back, leaving the legs and the gloves as your off tier. The legs will either be the legendary legs or the leg guards of Numbing Gloom from the Coven of Shavara. The best in slot off tier gloves are the Prey Snare Vice Grips from Eminar. For everything else, you're going to want to grab the wrists from the Portal Keeper, the waist from Agrimar, the feet from Eminar, the rings from the Portal Keeper and the Coven of Shavara, and the neck from Argus. Keep in mind that all of this is assuming that each piece of gear is of equal or similar item level. As always, intellect heavily outweighs other stats, so going with a huge intellect increase with Warforged items will always be the right choice for your character. Keep in mind that both the Coven of Shavara and Agrimar have 3 best in slot drops for you, so make sure that you use your coin on these bosses every week until you have all of the pieces that you need. I'd use my 3rd roll on Argus as he has the neck and an extremely powerful trinket in his loot box as well. Finally, the last thing that we have to talk about are legendaries. The main thing here for legendaries is that Restoration Shamans were untouched, meaning most of us will stick to using the same legendaries that we did back in Tomb of Sargeras. Be sure to run your daily heroic every day, as well as all of your emissaries, so you can be sure to stack up as much withering essences as possible to level up all of your legendary items quickly. The top 3 legendaries by far now are Pridaz, Velens, and the legs. Which ones that you'll use will almost always come down to what other gear is available to you at the time. For example, if you've been lucky enough to have been blessed with amazingly high-level trinkets, using Pridaz and Saladricils might be your best bet. Or if, like me, you've had garbage luck with trinkets and for some reason never rolled legs, going with Velens and Saladricils might be the best for you. It's really about what gear is available to you at the time and the type of luck that you have. My best suggestion would be to focus on upgrading all 3 as fast as possible, putting a priority on the current 2 that you're wearing. If you get an amazing neck or leg or trinket, then consider replacing that specific legendary slot and then swapping in one of these other 3 legendaries. For the most up-to-date information on legendaries, I suggest following WoW Progress and looking at what the top players are using, as well as keeping an eye on the Restoration Shaman Discord, which always has really great discussions on that topic as well. And that's about it for this guide. I hope that you found it helpful, and make sure to leave a thumbs up if you did. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the guide, or if I missed anything specific that you were looking for. If you've already subscribed to me, then you'll know that I also post detailed Restoration Shaman guides and point of view kill videos explaining how to do each fight optimally for Restoration Shaman. This tier will be no different. I'm currently recording my heroic kills and will be uploading boss by boss video guides and explanations for each boss encounter in Antorus. So make sure that you're subscribed so you can be notified when those videos go live. Thanks again for sitting through the entire video, and until next time, happy raiding. Bye guys!